Let me jump in for a second here. Two things. Everyone's searching for reason. Everyone's searching for logic. Everybody's searching for, why is this happening? How can it be happening? And we're doing so within the realms of our own lives and believability and fundamental beliefs, our own morals. This isn't about this. This is criminal. Period. We need to realize that. We need to fight it on that basis. We need to remember what Hippocrates said about serious illness. Takes serious curing. And that's what it's all about. By the way, Triplicate, are you here? Yeah. Where? Oh, good, great. Welcome. Taking a lot of notes? Okay, here's a Pulitzer Prize for you.
Hey, thank you. I don't think anyone knows more than I do that for the last year, Greg and Anne-Marie Duncan have dedicated their lives to this. And it takes unbelievable amount of time, incredible intellect to even figure out where to look for this stuff. I am just astounded at what they've come up with. The other thing is, we keep saying about how this boardroom is just such a surreal, cult-like atmosphere that you can't possibly understand. And that's why I say, for Greg to go into those meetings month after month takes an unbelievable amount of guts that only I understand. But let me tell you, it's an incredible amount of guts. And he needs all the support we can give him to keep him going. The thing in that boardroom is some of those people might live in the community, but they don't represent the community. And I was reminded a few weeks ago when I was taking my oath of office for being re-elected on the healthcare district, that we stand up there and we swear to defend the Constitution. So we're the ones, it's the elected people here who swear to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And there is no greater enemy to a democracy, and therefore to the Constitution, than having a group of people who feel that they are above the law. And that is what we're dealing with here. Over and over, they do not have to follow the law. And that's why we are here today. And that's why I think, in addition to the incredible support that this community is given, I think we have to redouble our efforts and work through our elected officials to make them do official legal action to stop this. We need to continue all the letters and all that, but all the elected, the supervisors, the city council, they all have to step up and do something more. And Greg and I, we're just a couple country doctors. I don't know what all the potential legal remedies are out there. But if anyone does, now's the time to do it. Because we could still lose this thing. So, that's enough for me.
How are these board members appointed, and how are these board members appointed, and do we have any control over firing them?
Yeah, the answer to your second question is no. But the answer to the first question is interesting. So, other than the chief of staff, who's elected by the physicians, the remaining board members are all appointed by Sutter Health through a nominating committee of other board members of Sutter Coast Hospital. At the end of the year, we had 2 board members drop off, and the chair of the hospital board stipulated that if you had taken a public position on either regionalization or critical access, you were disqualified for consideration on the board. Now, considering that every elected official in the county has submitted written opposition, as well as the Board of Realtors and the Senior Center, United Indian Health Services, 2,000 people have put, signed the petition. It tends to stack the board, but that's a true story. I mean, I sat in the boardroom while it occurred. Boards are supposed to offer diversity of opinion. A healthy board shouldn't have 9-1 or 10-0 votes every single time. But that's not what we have here. We have appointed members who are loyal to Sutter Health, in my opinion. And I would love to have a public debate with those other board members. I mean, we had one. I don't know if any of you came to the town hall in August, but I invited Mr. Soucy and the board chair at the time, who was Andy Ringgold, and they said they weren't going to come, which was fine. But then 5 minutes before the meeting, they both showed up. So I donated half of my time to them, so they would have a chance to say everything that they wanted to say. And I asked them for a public forum that would give everybody in town a chance to weigh in on this. And it still hasn't happened. I mean, we've been promised, how many times, month after month, and it still hasn't happened. We do know that in Lakeside, they had a forum on critical access, and 10 days later, despite significant opposition in the community, they just did it anyway. I mean, I think the public forum would just be more of a formality, but they still haven't even come through with that promise. Question? Go ahead. Yes, let's go start in the front row. Very helpful. The triplicate's been really good. They're putting the letters in, and I'll tell you another quick story. There's a Center for Investigative Reporting, California Watch, that does independent investigative reporting for major newspapers. As newspapers across the country have declined because of the internet, they now outsource a lot of the investigative reporting. And I contacted a reporter there, and we had a story basically finished. Christmas Day, I spent fact-checking her story, and I think it would have been a good story. And then it was supposed to run the first week of January, and 2 days before it was supposed to run, I got an email telling me that her editor determined that it was no longer appropriate for the editorial mission of the paper, and the story never ran. Now, I believe the reporter because she did all the work. I mean, she wanted to run that story. I do believe it was the editor. And it was almost eerie in a way that, a story like this, it can't even come out in print. I mean, that's their job. They're the Center for Investigative Reporting. The same thing happened with another national news agency. It didn't go quite as far. I mean, I got a call from the reporter who I met with in San Francisco, who promised a story twice, was going to fly up here and do a story. I gave him a bunch of information. And he also said that the editor pulled the story. And I believe him. I mean, I could tell in his voice that he wasn't happy about it. But yeah, I wish I could know what conversations went on in that editor's office and why.